This is our biggest event of the year, the We Love Jeremy Golf Outing.
Back the truck up for the beverages.
This is our 11th year. We totally sold out.
We've got 288 golfers, about 340 showing up.
It's massive, man. It's a massive effort.
This funds most of our programs, so it's very, very important.
We had about $27,000 in sponsorships this year. Gosh, I can't even tell you how many whole signs we made. Well over 110 whole signs. We have a dinner sponsorship, a dessert sponsorship, program sponsorship, lunch sponsorship, breakfast sponsorship. And so all of those signs need to be made and brought to the course. Where do they normally put the keg?
Good time, great time.
I think we have about 35 different volunteers out here in order to make this whole thing come together. We've got people working the grill, people working the ticket sales, 50-50 raffle, I mean, all sorts of stuff.
One of the most outstanding events that I've ever attended, from blowing the whistle to the tee off, to the whole event, lunch, dinner, was absolutely fantastic.
And the golf tournament is a hell of a lot of fun.
It is at that.
The mission of Jeremy Cares is to enrich the lives of families going through a medical crisis with a child. We like to put it a little bit more simply. We like to say that we like to create moments of joy. And we want to do that because we know that people remember how you make them feel. And a lot of these families are going through really dark, cold, hard reality. And we'd like to give them something to look back on that is happy and is joyful and is full of love.
When my daughter was sick, she was diagnosed right after she turned 2, and we ended up in the hospital on the night before Christmas Eve. At the time, my oldest was 7, I had a 5-year-old, Molly, who was 2, and then I had a 6-month-old. So they were thinking, this sucks. Where's Santa gonna come? That kind of thing.
And we literally had maybe 2 hours of time to prepare for this family.
The nurses told us, don't leave, you know, this organization's coming, they'll have gifts for your kids.
And when we go back to the hospital, we don't just provide for the patient, we provide for the siblings as well, because we believe in serving the whole family. So we had a lot of gifts to buy.
And next thing I know, I look out in the hallway and there's Debbie and Benny and Jeremy. Literally, it's like Santa came for. It was crazy the amount of things they brought, how happy they were to be in our room with strangers they didn't even know. My kids are like, it's the best Christmas they've ever had. They remember it as the best Christmas they ever had.
So in doing that, we believe that if maybe we change one moment in their life and they're feeling down and we show them that we care, we might be able to help them regain hope. And in doing that, it causes you also to want to pay that forward someday.
This blew me away. I reached out to Debbie then on Facebook or email or something, and that's sort of how we started to become friends and get involved.
We had a son who had brain cancer, and so he fought for 2.5 years. When Calvin was having a hard time, they had a bunch of volunteers put together gray ribbons. And down Lorraine Avenue in North Olmsted, the same path that Calvin would follow to go to school, they put gray ribbons on all of the telephone posts. And also in our neighborhood, they put gray ribbons on all the lampposts. It was wonderful to see that kind of support. Since then, we've lost Calvin to brain cancer. And every time I see those ribbons, I still smile.
No one fights alone, right? We're all in it together. The support that an organization like Jeremy Cares can't put a price on it.
I threw together something to try to explain to you why you're here, okay? Just to remind you. So I wanted to share a couple stories. It's been a really rough year in the life of Jeremy Cares over the last couple years. There have been a lot of diagnoses, and there's been also a lot of kids passing and earning their angel wings. So it's tough. And so I just want you to have a visual yourself. People on here, unfortunately, we've lost over the last couple years. Down here is Logan. The Indians came up and presented him with a jersey. And Logan just passed away a few months ago. Good day. This is Piper, and Piper is an Avon Lake girl. This was her Christmas at the hospital, and she died a few months later. Look at the smile. This is Sam, or Babby, over here, and he passed away a few months ago, and one of our board members, complete stranger to him, but she decided to go to the hospital and pay him a visit. Her visit came literally 30 minutes after the doctors had just told him that he had no options left. And he passed away about a week later. It was like an act of God that she showed up at the hospital when she did. So his concern was his girlfriend. And so we did some special things for her. And this is Sophia, and this is a Christmas where she was visited at home. She was just an absolute incredible bright light. She was lost to us too a few months later. So why am I sharing this with you? It's certainly not to bring you down. I'm sharing it with you because this is exactly why you're here. So if you get tired, I want you to walk over to this board. You're not tired. If you get bored and you have downtime, which you will, I want you to walk over to this board, and I want you to sit down then in your moment of silence and say a prayer for these families. And just remember that this is exactly why we're here today.
Red tickets out. Get your red tickets out, everyone, so we can get this done really fast.
The reason why this golf tournament means so much to me is that as a cancer survivor who got tremendous support going through my treatment and my diagnosis and all that through my friends and family, to be able to do that for other people, to know how well they feel, thank you to everybody out there.
Sometimes I think the experiences that are being created aren't just for the families that we serve, but for those of us that are serving those families. It affects us just as much as it affects them. And once you pay it forward, it's addictive. And I wish everybody had that same feeling. And once you get involved with Jeremy Cares, you can't help it. You just want to keep going and going and going. And I hope that more and more people want to experience that same thing. And we would love to hear from them. So I hope if anybody wants to get involved with Jeremy Cares, they can reach us at any time through our website. And we welcome every single person out there who wants to share their love, wants to share their compassion, and wants to share their joy with somebody else.